from a form how you go to fighting. It's very, very difficult, honestly speaking. Now, there is a way to explain this. You can explain this in a scholar way because you have a document that deals about the practice. For example, there is in a text scroll written by Yagyu Jubei known as Musashi no. And on this densho, he explained the way of practicing or the way of teaching. And for that, he explained that through the process of how to shoot an arrow. And he said that the 3 years at the beginning, you don't shoot any arrow. You just learn to pull. And this from every direction. Why? Why in that kind of martial art that is deal of killing, Yagyu Jubei, it's the first son of Yagyu Munenori. It is known for being one of the very, very important and skills warrior, not only in Shinkagyu but in different schools. So why normally, if you have to practice Kyujutsu, the main point is to shoot the arrow, right? Here now it's different. Here he tried to explain that through the way you use your body, you're gonna have to work, you're gonna have to build what is done also as shitaotsukuri in the Densho Heiroka Densho, like build the underneath. You need to build a certain structure. This structure is inside the kata. Sometimes not, it depends. And here, by pulling, you work in a way that you don't shake. There is no like Yurizumi no Nai, that's what is written in the scroll, like you don't shake, you don't moving like this. Why? Because if your body shake, automatically the bow is shaking, and when you're gonna have the arrow, no matter what you have practiced 10,000 times, if you still have those tension, let's let yes, those tension, it will automatically affect not only the effectiveness of the shot, but also the direction, the trajectory. So in that case, there is what we call kata geiko and kata or narau. Narau in Japanese means to learn. To learn. But at the same time, there is this habit, there is this meaning of try to train your body, forge your body in such a way it start to get a certain habit. It start to get to be in French will be être accoutumé, so that you have your body that start to shape, to take the shape and take also the function of the shape. It's not just the shape, you need to have the function of the shape. And this is very complicated. It's very easy when you live back in those days, 14th century, 16th century, you learn, you apply directly. And most of the time you practice only what you apply. Logical. It's direct application, and this is the practicality. And in the word practical, you have practice. So that's a very important thing. Problem is with history changing and the peace area coming, teaching those kind of technique can be very dangerous because you're not aware of who is who and how the tension, not only the physical tension but also the psychological tension can be managed and controlled. So creating certain kind of what people call educative movement and things like that become interesting and important in order to regulate the practice in a dojo. Like this, people doesn't hurt each other. Sometimes you use also the ceremonial in order to here again regulate the practice, because it could be dangerous. Someone can hurt someone, except student can, most of the time student can hurt each other, and even the teacher can be hurt by a student because he tried to teach why the student wants to try him. So there is a kind of convention here. To my point of view, I think the master needs to be always aware and to be like it's known as saki omiru. So read before, be in advance. That's a very important aspect. So here again, you have this kata geiko. It's interesting because you can say this in Japanese, kata geiko. Keiko translating by practice, but the meaning is a little bit more deeper. Keiko inishie o kangeru, I said this many times. reflect about the past, or reflect of how the master uses his body, reflect about the meaning of the technique, how to use the body, how to find any kind of measure, methodology, movement, action, practice, exercise in a daily life in order to reach the shape of the movement you're looking for, and at the same time the ultimate function of using the body. So you need to practice a certain form of kata. Now the problem is again the meaning and the orientation of what is a kata. So if you look things like you have in karate, for example, or nowadays judo, judo is a little bit more practical than karate because you go directly in the randori. You have to catch, so you have someone. In karate, most of the time you can do the kata alone, and you imagine that you have like a kind of imaginary opponent. But then when you want to do the reality, if he doesn't attack the same oitsuki, it's the same. So boxing is the same. So there is a shadow boxing. You learn a lot on shadow boxing. You learn how to move. Actually, you try to learn against yourself, fighting against yourself, which is a very important aspect in classical martial art. You have this aspect of kyoshin. So it's the reflection and the mirror that reflect the mind, that reflect the intention, that reflect is even when you use a word like gyokushin, you have this word many times, which is influenced from the Buddhism. It's to polish the heart like a pearl, like a diamond, gyokushin, tama no kokoro. So all those aspects show the ultimate goal, which is to be the reflection and be able to reflect or copy the movement of your opponent, to answer correctly at the right time and proportionally. This also is connecting in it is included in the meaning of ao, like in aikido, this awa seru, to match, to join 2 points at the right moment. So problem is when you teach, here again I come back to what I just said, when you teach, it's how you teach, what you teach, and for which reason. If you teach just in order to show that you're a teacher, you're not a teacher. You just think about yourself. I think about myself, and I think that a great master, like a great teacher, it's a helper. It's someone who's going to push the student by who he is, by who he does, the way he does, and not looking for the reward. Teaching already on itself is a reward. Helping people already on itself is a reward. Now, if you're looking for the result, I don't think so. So in that case, the kata, which normally the form should be the reflection of the master. And there is a moment where the form, the practice start to get not circular, but more round, more like spheric, in such a way that if he touch, he bounce. You see, when something is turning like this, each touch automatically goes like this because it's spheric. And from that you can see all the different kind of parameter, because a true form, to my point of view, and Jisen Gata, Shinken Gata, Tanren Gata, I don't like to separate them or compartment them. They're all the same. This is the reason why repeating wisely, cleverly, healthy, the form in the right way, in a correct way. Yeah, there is a lot of video where Hatsumi Sensei said many times, Kamae o tadashiku, waza o tadashiku. Do the form correctly, tadashiku yaranakereba ikenai. And he said many times, jikoru ni naranai, don't do your own style, don't do your own way. Ore o yatta you ni yarinasai. Do like I did. And sometimes, of course, you have the opposite. Don't do like I do the way you want. But here again, measure, listen, and knowing when you can shift to more dangerous, it depends of the nature of what you did before. Always, it depends of the nature of what you did before and how. Now, if you want just that good, you want to go directly fighting with a technique that doesn't belong to you, that you think you have,